Imagine a quiet, cozy town called Prosperity. In this town lives Maya, a freelance designer who loves her Sunday routine, a large latte and a gourmet sourdough loaf from the local bakery. For years Maya walked into the bakery with a $10 bill. It was enough to cover both items and leave a small tip. But lately, things in Prosperity have started to feel a bit different. One Sunday Maya hands over a $10 bill, but the baker, Mr. Miller, shakes his head. "I'm sorry, Maya, the sourdough is now $7, and the latte is $5. You're $2 short." Maya is confused. The bread is the same size. The coffee tastes the same. Why does she need more money for the exact same things? That is inflation. Inflation isn't about things getting better or bigger. It's the process of your money losing its purchasing power. It's as if every dollar in Maya's wallet slightly evaporated overnight. Well, why is this happening? Mr. Miller explains it isn't just him being greedy. He points to a few reasons. 1. The cost of ingredients. The flour he buys from the farmer costs more because the gas for the delivery truck went up. 2. If everyone in Prosperity suddenly got a $5,000 gift from the government, they'd all rush to buy sourdough. Since Mr. Miller can only make 50 loaves a day, he raises the price to manage the high demand. And lastly 3, his assistant needed a raise to pay their own rising rent, so Mr. Miller had to adjust his prices to cover the higher payroll. As the weeks go by, Maya notices the ripple effect of inflation touching every corner of her day. Before she would buy steak for dinner once a week, now she's switching to chicken or beans to stay on budget. Her $1,000 in the bank felt like a safety net, but now that a $1,000 now buys 15% less than it did last year. And her $50 per hour rate felt great, but she realizes she's actually making less, because her expenses rose faster than her pay. When inflation is high, people start buying things now, because they fear they will be more expensive tomorrow. This panic buying can actually make inflation even worse. However, inflation isn't always a villain. Economists actually lack a tiny bit of inflation, usually around 2%. It encourages people to spend and invest their money rather than hiding it under a mattress, which keeps the economy moving. But for Maya, it means she has to become a bit of a strategist, finding better deals, asking for a cost of living raise, and being more mindful of where every dollar goes. After realizing her $10 bill wasn't going as far as it used to, Maya starts to see the town's mayor, the central bank, stepping in to fix things. The mayor sees that prices are rising too fast, and the townspeople are starting to panic. To cool things down, the mayor pulls the most powerful lever in the office, the interest rate. Think of the economy like a car. Inflation is when the car is speeding too fast and might crash. Raising interest rates is like stepping on the brakes. How do the brakes work? When the mayor raises interest rates, it becomes more expensive for Maya to borrow money for a new car or a house. Since she has to pay more in interest, she has less extra money to spend at Mr. Miller's bakery. When thousands of Mayas stop spending as much, Mr. Miller notices his sourdough isn't flying off the shelves. To keep customers coming, he stops raising his prices and might even lower them. While the mayor works on the big picture, Maya needs to protect the money she already has. She realizes that leaving her savings in a basic shoebox or a 0% interest checking account is like letting her money sit out in the rain. It's rotting away. She looks at a few financial umbrellas to keep her savings dry. Maya decides to invest in high-yield savings. This will pay her a higher interest rate, maybe about 4 to 5% that will race against inflation. However, if inflation is 6%, and she earns 5%, she's still losing 1% of value. Maya could invest in special government bonds, where the value literally grows based on the inflation rate. However, her money is usually locked away for a year or more. Maya can also buy pieces of companies that can raise their prices. Basically, stocks or equity. However, prices can go up and down daily. It's a bumpy ride. And lastly, if she has a fixed mortgage, her payment stays the same while her neighbor's rent goes up. This only works if the rent was locked in before inflation spiked. Maya learns that inflation isn't a monster you kill, it's a tide you learn to swim in. She cancels free streaming services she doesn't use to offset the higher cost of eggs. She goes to her boss and explains that because the cost of living in prosperity has risen, she needs a 5% raise just to stay even. Fortunately, Maya realizes the one thing inflation can't touch is her talent. By learning a new design skill, she becomes more valuable, regardless of what the dollar is worth. After a few weeks, the town eventually found its rhythm again. Mr. Miller's bakery is busy, the farmers are being paid fairly, and Maya's $12 breakfast, while more expensive than it used to be, is a price she can comfortably afford because she grew alongside the economy. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new about inflation, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you soon.